Hi, my name is Kyung, and I would like to introduce you to my paper, which is entitled Beyond Justification, Habermas wrote and the Politics of Cultural Change. This paper is to appear in Theory, Culture, and Society shortly. Before I summarize the main arguments of this paper, let me say a few words about why I wrote this paper. This paper grew out of my dissatisfaction with Habermas' theory of communicative action that claims to have provided a critique of cultural practice that stands in the way to the decrease of humiliation and suffering of the people. In various places, Richard Roth also expressed his doubts about Habermas' strategy of promoting freer society through the unlimited discourse about the universal truth. After recounting Habermas' critique of Roth's neo-pragmatism and the latter's responses to it, I will use a particular example to criticize Habermas' strategy of cultural change and relate that criticism to Jeffrey Alexander's theory of social performance, which has a deep parallel with Roth's pragmatist view of cultural practice. As a case study, this example will show that Habermas fails to substantiate his argument that a moment of unconditionality built into the structure of the conversation enables the participants to transcend the local conversational context. More specifically, I argue that Habermas fails to flesh out such Platonist vocabularies as unconditionality and universal truth by bringing them to bear on concrete cases, and show how these vocabularies can actually have practical effect by contributing to the transcendence of the local context. As I show in this paper, the heart of the debate, Habermas-Roth debate, can be succinctly summarized as validity claims versus coordination of actions. Unlike Habermas' conception of language that regards validity claims as necessarily connected with the concept of representing truth, Roth's Darwinian conception of language as a tool makes validity claim dispensable. This point can best be illustrated by the example I use in this paper. When the young Koreans said that the current marriage practice is unbearable, they are not reporting what's in their minds, but making those around them to predict their future actions. Since such a sentence is simply a tool for coordinating their behavior with those of older generation, there's no point in asking whether a belief represents reality accurately. Rather, when they say that the current marriage practice is unbearable, young Koreans are not seeking truth in general, which they should be able to defend against anybody in all possible contexts, as Habermas argues. Instead, they address themselves to a specific audience and will simply be satisfied if they can accomplish a specific goal, that is, having the older generation accept the new meaning of good marriage. The case of Korean marriage practice presented through Alexander's theory of cultural pragmatics amply attests to the fact that cultural change depends on the success of the social performance rather than on the truth of arguments. In social performance, actors are not interested in what Habermas calls unconditional truth. Rather, they are interested in achieving a specific purpose of having others accept the symbolic meaning they want to convey. The language of success, in contrast to the language of truth, precludes the possibility of finding the universal truth that the actors are supposed to be able to defend to anybody in all possible contexts. For success is always relative to the specific purpose and specific groups located in specific time and place. It simply does not make sense to speak of a universal success of social performance. In my future research, I will further develop this argument to chart a new territory in critical social theory.